Good evening, Facebook Nation. It's Stacy. How are you? I hope everyone's doing good. Bear with me for 1 second. All right, let's see here. All right, hold on 1 sec, guys. Bear with me. Okay. Of course, this won't go down. Okay. All right. Hopefully, my partner in crime is going to jump on here any minute. Hi, Tia. Thanks for watching. Hi, Danielle. Oh my gosh, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in just for a few. So I'm just waiting for Demeet to hop on here with me. I just had to make sure she's on. Hi, Danielle. How was your day? Was it good? Okay, so you guys, decaf coffee. Hi, Janae. You guys, if you hop on, tell us where you're from. I love to know where people are from, and I just want to see how are you guys doing with your holiday shopping. That's what we need to know. Is everybody surviving? Are their credit cards surviving? Oh my God. I feel like every time we're doing something, we're hitting that credit card. So it's almost to a close. But if you guys are on tonight, please hop on, hit the like button and share and get excited. Janae is from Arizona. I love that. Okay, hold on. I got Demetria. If you guys are on, while you're commenting, comment where you're from, okay? I want to know where you guys are from. I'm adding my friend Demetria. It says it's adding. So give me 1 second and we should be getting a split screen. And we got a split screen. There she is. And
sorry, I had technical difficulties, of course.
Nope, it's totally okay. Danielle's from Maryland. If you guys hop on, I'm just trying to find out where you guys are from. We want to know where you're at. I lost my Santa Claus hat. It's buried actually in the kids' toy chest, and I couldn't.
Oh, you bailed on me?
I didn't bail, but I got the red right there, so that can be like my hat right there.
All good, all good.
I got the scarf, though. Also be like an elf.
Yes.
I mean, whatever. Hi, Stephanie. If you guys jump on, just tell us where you guys are from. And thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Super glad you guys are on this call. And I have low battery, of course, but I plugged it into my computer. So we should be totally okay. So, all right. We got Janine, Idaho, from Idaho. That's Seattle. That's awesome. I love it, you guys. Dude, I have a new friend. She's from Alaska. I've never had a friend from Alaska.
I love it.
Ever.
Jason Walsh is on. Jason is from New York. NY in the house.
New York. Keisha. She wrote Habu things. That must be to you, Demetria.
Hey, Keisha. Yes, that's to me.
Oh.
I feel like I'm right
guys,
here. Oh, no, that's not good.
We are going to get started. It is the holiday season. It is go, go, go time. It is rush time. It's crazy time. And I want you guys to all just kind of sit back for a second and take a deep breath and just be really curious right now tonight. While you guys are on, we'd love to see the support and the love and the vibe. So while you're tuning in tonight, if you guys don't mind hitting that like button and that heart button a couple of times or comment, we love that. We love interaction. We love support. We love to feel the actual vibes through Facebook. So thank you guys for all being on. Hi, Michelle. So you guys, what we want to talk to you guys tonight about is something that's really simple and really easy. It's an opportunity that really was a gift to me and Demetria, both at different times in our lives. So what we're just going to do is we're just getting on Facebook. We just took care of our families. We're sitting down and we just want to share something that is really near and dear to our hearts, which happens to be the same exact thing. So I'm going to go first. I'm just going to share with you my story into coaching. And then Demetria is going to tell you guys her story of coaching. Then we're going to kind of tell you a little bit how we morphed in together. So first, I want to thank you guys again for all being on this call tonight. Curiosity is awesome. It does not kill the cat. In fact, it actually inspires people, and curiosity can open a huge door. So with that being said, over 2 years ago, I was on a journey of depression. I was on a journey of anxiety. I was on a journey of really low self-esteem. And that kind of was probably most of my life, to be honest with you. I think if you're a female, you kind of carry a little bit of that low self-esteem cup around you. You kind of keep it in your back pocket. You know, I was the self-doubter, the second guesser, the one toe in with everything. And just somebody who never thought I was worthy of absolutely anything. I did not think I deserved love. When I was growing up, I literally had one boyfriend. And I don't even know if we want to call him a boyfriend, but I had one. But that's because when boys liked me, I turned them away. Even if it was to dance at the 8th grade dance, you guys, I was so nervous that I would turn them away. And going to prom and invites, I would turn people down because even though I liked them, I was afraid to get close and have hurt. So I just stayed at arm's length. And I think a lot of women can relate to that. When people like you, or when you're at the pool and, you know, you see all the cool people on one side and you just want to go over to the quiet side so no one's bothering you. Those are kind of the characteristics that really make up who I am. And like I would like to say now, who I was. And so to make it kind of fast forward a little bit, you guys, a lot of you may not know who I am. I'm Stacy Shiflett. I'm 38 years old. I'm a mom of 2. I have a son, Ryan. He's 8. I have a daughter, Kenzie. She's 2. And I have a husband. His name is John. We've been married for 11 years, but this month we've been together 21 years and counting. So I really take pride in that. And I think what's interesting is that all the people that I shoved out of my life, the universe had one set out for me. So it was a blessing that happened to me. So with that said, we'll fast forward really fast. 2002, my dad decided to take his own life. He was out of a job. He was depressed. He was our provider for our family, and my dad checked out. A lot of people might think that's selfish, and parts of it is. But what's the worst part is that he thought that he was doing something really good for me. And in the beginning, it was really bad. I dropped 30 pounds probably in less than a month. I became the person who is afraid to go places. I couldn't go to the grocery store. I couldn't talk to friends. I would end up getting beet red if I went out to places. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like my neck, like somebody was literally choking me. The only way that I felt okay with things was through drinking, just to kind of take the edge off and calm myself down. And what I didn't realize was during this grief and during this hard time in my life, I was self-sabotaging just like my dad was. He self-sabotaged himself. Now, I was afraid. One person told me at his viewing, they literally came up to me and they said, you know, now that your dad has done this, you have a higher rate at doing it too. Now, first of all, whoever says that to somebody who lost their dad at 22 is an idiot, but it scared me to pieces. And for 9 months, I couldn't go home in the middle of the day because that's when he took his life. And I would find my way to a friend's house or literally just sitting in my car until I had to go work in the afternoon. I went to therapy for 9 years. I had to get my weight back. I had to get my smile back. And I was fighting my ass off for it. And 9 years of therapy did a lot of good for me. I got back to a healthy weight. I started to regain some momentum. I had to go on medication for a really long time just so I could just keep myself mellow and chill. And I finally, in 2009, that was 2002, 2009, we have our son, and I fall into a major postpartum depression. And it was bad, you guys. It was really bad. So again, I went from baby weight. I had gained 30 pounds, but I had put on prior to that an extra 20 because I just regained some comfort in my life. So I went down and I went up. I was a fluctuator. And 2009, I had him. I fell into postpartum depression and it was bad. I had to get back on medication. I had to get back into therapy twice a week, not just once a week. That was really hard for me financially, but I had to fight because I was not going to let stuff take me down. I was just not going to do it. It was a non-negotiable for me. And there were a lot of days, you guys, where I felt like this was the way it was going to be forever. Like I thought that black cloud was never, ever, ever going to pass me by. I even looked at my husband before we even got married, you guys, in 2006 and told him, I don't know if I love you. I don't know if I've ever loved you. And I don't know if I want to get married. And that was complete fear running my life because that's not what I wanted. I just wanted to feel normal again. And I don't know if you guys can relate to that at all. And if you can relate to that, please show some likes and some hearts right now because I know I'm not the only person, but to be fearful and ruin things in your life if you know it's happening is a really scary thing. And I can see some hearts and likes popping up right now. So what I love right now is that we are connecting and you guys can feel exactly what I'm saying to you guys tonight. And when I had my son and I fell into this depression, I had to make some changes. I was like, I can't go back again. I lost my dad to suicide. I'm going to postpartum depression. The pattern is I keep coming back to this traumatic things that are happening, but I'm not doing something good to get out of it, right? Besides the therapy, right? Which is great, but I needed more than that because I was drinking, I was smoking, I was eating shitty food because that's what gave me comfort. That's what gave me comfort to be like, I'm okay. But I wasn't okay because what I was doing is I was swiping everything under the rug. That's all I was doing. And then when the next stressful event came up, guess what happens, you guys? All of the things we swipe up under the rug comes back up to the surface and wants to be healed. So I got back into therapy in 2009. I cut back from full-time to part-time, and I started to feel better again. Started to feel some momentum. But on the downside was I had gained a lot of weight through being depressed. And I don't know if anybody can relate to that tonight, but I did. And I wasn't feeling good. I just wasn't feeling good. I was borderline diabetic. I couldn't sleep. I had to take sleeping pills, melatonin. I mean, it was bad, you guys, really bad. And I have no shame now telling you guys because it's life and it's real. And a lot of people don't talk about it. And Dimitri and I, we want to be those voices that say, hey, you know what? Crap happens. And we want you to know we've been there too, right? So have Ryan, we get back on track, fast forward some more, and I'm still overweight and I'm going to the pool and I become pregnant with my daughter. And I am ecstatic. I am joyful. I am bliss. And I was due in August in 2015. So I went through my pregnancy and I was exercising and I was doing the things that I needed to do. But I took my glucose test and they told me, if you don't watch your stuff, we are going to put you on meds while you're pregnant. I was like, oh no, like it's not happening. We're not even going there. So they watched me, they monitored me, and I didn't like that. I didn't like being monitored, even though I know it's safety. I was doing it to me because the McDonald's once a week was not what I should have been doing. And that's the fact. Like I was like, I'm acting all shocked with the doctors, but I knew exactly what I was doing. Like you can't act dumb. Like you know exactly what you're doing, right? So I'm sitting late at night. It's like 8 or 9 months pregnant. And I'm eating the ice cream late at night, you know? I'm sitting there with the bowl of ice cream on my belly, enjoying it. And I keep watching this 21-day fix infomercial. And I was like, why am I so drawn to this? Like I keep getting this pull, like this gravitational pull of these containers. Like what the heck is it? And then I knew I wanted to get back on track after I had my daughter, but it was just kind of something that happened. So then all of a sudden I'm seeing Demetria working out and posting some things on Facebook. I'm seeing Lisa post some things on Facebook, and I'm seeing these things. And I'm like, what are they doing? They're getting happy. Like, I want that too. I want to be happy because I see they're happy. They're documenting they're happy on Facebook. They're sharing their life. What is it? Like, what is that? So I reached out to Demetria, but I have to tell you, I turned her down 10 times with invitations, 10 times. And I was just not interested, even though I was, because fear was in my driver's seat. It was the driver and I was the passenger. And I had to swap those seats. And so she talked with me for months. And I said, after I have my daughter, I'm doing this. I'm getting on board. I got on board. I jumped in her challenge groups. My depression started to go away. I started to like really smile again. And I was able to go to the pool the following year and not have to walk around with the towel around my butt because I was afraid of what people would see when I walked past them. That to me was a victory. Like, I lost almost 50 pounds with her in 10 months, and I started to feel my joy again. I truly, honestly became reborn because of what I'm doing. And I'm 2 years into it, and I am very proud to say that I have maintained that weight loss. Maybe a little fluctuation here and there, but overall, I've maintained it. And the best gift of all is I've received my confidence and my real joy, not the fake joy that you put on when you're at a party and you're really not happy. I'm talking about the real joy that you were like, you know what? Wow, I don't think I really care what that person says because I'm cool with who I am. I never knew what that tasted like. I always wanted to take a spoonful of that, but I never gave myself the opportunity until I got into this, you guys. And it was because of this girl right over here. And then let's fast forward a little bit more. My husband works for Verizon, and Verizon goes on strike. Do you guys remember that? That was just a couple of years ago. He was our breadwinner. He was our supplier. I was the part-time worker, you guys. I was not bringing in a whole lot of money. It was the first time I felt the weight of the family budget. And it freaked me out. And I kept racking my brain saying, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? I have a lot of gifts. I'm a hairdresser part-time, so I love people. I'm really good with just like strangers. I seem to like just connect with them really well. I'm kind of that warm, welcoming person. I like that. I like to meet new people. I like to make people feel good, and I'm making myself feel good. And so she said to me, she's like, so you know what, Stacey, because let me just give you a history. We've known each other since high school. So she literally was like, so, okay, I'm going to tell you something. Okay, girlfriend, why don't you just become a coach? And I was like, what? And I said, no. And she was like, you need to rethink that because I'm your friend. And I'm telling you that if you need another job or if you want something that's fulfilling, then you need to think about this because you're already doing what I'm doing. You're just not getting paid for it. And eyebrows raised, hearing turned up. And she spent 2 hours with me on the phone with my husband, and I became a coach. And it was the best decision I made in my life because nothing changed from me being a challenger to a coach. It just meant that I was able to be free and celebrate myself and let people know that not only do I have kids and I have a husband and I love steak from Grill Marks and I love ice cream and I love my girlfriends are at Sheer Reflections, but I also love working out and I also love my coaching community because it's making me who I am. It's the foundation of who I am. It is the makeup of who I am. And I'm proud of it. And you know what's funny? I never was proud of myself before. I never owned who I was. And I don't know if you guys can relate to that tonight or not, but if you've never owned your joy before and said, yeah, you know what? This is what I do. It's a good feeling, you guys. And I never did that until I tasted coaching. Coaching can be whatever you guys want. And tonight we are just simply letting you know what it's done for us. Beachbody, and we have to say it, you guys, too, it does not guarantee any level of success. It is just truly based on you. You can be a, I'm just going to help random people whenever type of coach. You could be a coach that just wants to get their Shakeology paid for. You could be a person who just wants $500 or $100 extra in their bank account so they can knock off a credit card or go on a date night. Because I know my date nights don't happen ever. And if I do, I feel really guilty of them because I don't feel like we have the money to fund it. You know, we don't have to worry about that anymore. And I like that. I like going on a date night. I love my husband. And with kids, we don't get that time. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. The other reason was so I didn't have to worry about a strike. And when the strike happens next time, which you guys know it will because Verizon, they do that, we're going on vacation. That's my goal. My goal is we're going on vacation. Or my goal will be, sweet, do you want to go to the pool with us? Because we're good and we get more family time now. Like, I want that. And the only way to do that is to set my goal high and to believe more in myself. And Beachbody really gave me that. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. I want to turn it over to Demetria because we don't want to take up too much of your time. And thank you guys for listening to my story.
Awesome, Stace. Let me know that you can hear me before I start in with my story. So doesn't she have such a great way of just giving you the background of where she's coming from? Every time I hear your story, I feel like I'm reliving it with you. And I was there the whole time. I've known Stacey for a long time. And she has come a long way. And it's just before I get into my story, let me just introduce myself for those of you hopping on. I'm Tria Brown. And what I was going to say about Stacey's story is that as a coach, with Beachbody, it's really cool to watch people grow. It's really cool to watch them work through their issues, but also just grow into the person that they kind of have lying dormant within them. And so that's kind of what my story is about. We do this call once a month, and I like to share different pieces of my story to kind of give you a well-rounded picture of me and how I came to this point. And so I want to piggyback a little bit on Stacey's kind of groundwork of confidence. I was somebody who really lacked confidence my entire life. I was the girl who was able to hide it well. People would say that I had a RBF, a resting bee face, because I was really just quiet. I didn't talk a lot. I didn't strike up conversations with people. I did not join, groups and extracurricular activities. And I was never really part of sports teams. I always found ways to keep to myself. And it was really because I had really deep inferiority complex. I never felt worthy of happiness. I never felt confident. I always felt shameful about different parts of my life for different reasons. Growing up in a single parent home, we never had a lot of money. We never had a lot of resources, and a lot of my growing up, I was around other people who did come from more affluent backgrounds. And so I was always doing the comparison of me versus them. What do they have that I don't have? What are they like versus what I'm like? I'm not pretty. I don't look like them. I grew up in a single parent home, but also in a small town. And in that small town, there weren't a lot of, I'm biracial, and there were not a lot of people of color in that town. And so I was used to being around a lot of white people. My whole family, half of my family is, but I wasn't necessarily, never really felt like I fully fit in. I never looked like anybody else except for my other biracial cousins. And so there was just all of this constant comparison and feeling like I'm not enough, feeling like I'm not what I'm supposed to be, whatever that was supposed to be. So throughout high school and throughout college, that kind of carried with me, and it led to a lot of poor choices. When you don't feel that you deserve things in life, and when you don't feel happy about who you are and you don't feel confident, that really plays out into your decisions of the people that you choose to be around, the people that you choose to date, the decisions you make. And so it got to the point where when I was in, it was 2006, I had gone through 2 abusive relationships by this point in my life. And I got to the point where I just felt like I couldn't make a good decision. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted. And like Stacy, I turned to drinking. I got to the point, I was always a social drinker, you know, trying to be cool and hang out with everybody from high school. And that was kind of what you did, you know. Sorry, we did underage drink, but you know, there was a lot of things that I did just to fit in. And there came a point where I really didn't know who I was. I just was always trying to do what everybody else was doing. And I just didn't know who I was. So at that point, after, you know, enduring those abusive relationships and really just feeling lost, I turned to alcohol. And for about 2 years, I was what I call a functioning alcoholic. And what I mean by that is I would show up to work every day on time. I would get my stuff done, but I was never sober more than maybe 2 days a week maximum. And that's on a good week. I just didn't know how to cope with how I was feeling, and I didn't know what to do next. So that led to more feeling shameful and feeling inferior and feeling lost. So I got into another abusive relationship, and during those 2 years, and finally came to the point where I kind of hit rock bottom. And I went back to church. I was just, you know, I've always been a believer in Christ, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And I had walked away from all of that. So I went back and kind of found my way back and just surrendered my life and said, you know, God, I don't know what to do. You have to help me figure out what my next move is. So he did, and he brought my husband back into my life. Michael was somebody that I dated in high school, and that was not a good relationship, but God restored that. And now we are married happily with 2 children and 1 in heaven. And so it just was all of this leading up to me still trying to piece my life back together. You know, I know that a relationship, if you have ever been in a great relationship after being in a bad one, you feel like it fixes everything in your life, but it doesn't. It's just something that's great in your life, but you still have all of those things in you that have to be healed. You still bring all of that baggage into that relationship, and that has to be healed. So my husband and I moved around a lot for his job, and within all of those moves, we moved 6 different states 10 times within 4 years. And within all of that, I just was losing myself more. I was no longer, you know, using alcohol to feel good about myself or to cope with my, you know, my pain, but I was still very lost. And moving around, I just felt like I kind of shifted my identity from the social, you know, trying to identify with different people and friends, to my husband. I kind of felt like I was just his wife, and I was kind of following him around and not really knowing who I was. We had a daughter in 2011, and she lived for 25 minutes and she died. And once that happened, it completely broke me. And so this was during the time that we were moving to all these different places. And so I was away from family, I was away from support, and I had a few people in my life that were supportive, but I didn't have that family that I needed. And so that was the point where I really had to make a decision. My track record when I would have trauma happen in my life was turn to alcohol, turn to unhealthy behaviors. And at this point in my life, I had my son, Michael, who's now 8 years old. And then our daughter, who passed away, she would be 6 years old. And so I had a choice to make. What am I going to do with all this pain? So after I lost her, I started drinking again. And this is something that I don't share very often. I started picking up my drinking habits again and was really just, basically drinking a bottle to 2 bottles of wine almost every night. This went on for about a month. And again, like I said, I had Michael. So I was seeing myself turning down that road of the functioning alcoholic. But now I'm married with a child. And so it was about a month into this, I'm depressed. I feel sad. I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do to bring my daughter back. And I felt that God really just stopped me and got my attention and said, you're going to either have to make a decision to do what you've always done, and then you're going to end up in a much worse place because now you have a family and you have a child, or you're going to turn to me and you're going to find a healthy way to move through this. So at that point, I went to counseling and I stopped drinking. I didn't stop drinking totally. I still drank wine here and there, but I stopped the drinking. And I sought out support, and I went to a program in Las Vegas. We moved back to Las Vegas, and I lived there at the time. And I found a woman at one of the local gyms there who was doing a workout program. She was a fitness competitor, and her main thing was to teach people how to get in shape for fitness competitions. However, she also had group fitness instruction, and we did not have the income at the time. I had a job, but it was not enough to pay our bills. And Michael was in between jobs. And so he was picking up extra work where he could. And so I came to him and I said, I'm at the point where I feel really depressed and I feel very lost. And I don't want to go down a dark path because I know what I'm capable of doing. And I know that I have been given second chances in life, and I don't want to take another chance, especially now that we have MJ. And I said, I really think that I need to have something healthy, a healthy distraction. I had stopped working out, which is crazy to me to think about. I had stopped working out for an entire year. I didn't work out one time for an entire year. And I felt like crap. Between the food that I was eating, which was fast food, between all the moving and just not taking care of myself at all, not sleeping, feeling, depressed inside, all these different things that were going on. And then I was going down that path again. So I said, I think that I should join this woman's group because it will give me something to focus on. It's a hardcore 12-week program. I have to work out twice a day, and I had the time at the time. And it's just something I can focus on. And it was expensive. It was $400 a month. And we did not have that in our budget. That's not in my budget today still. However, my husband, being the man that he is and being so supportive, he said, okay, I will find a way to put you in the program and to do it. And he did. He found work, he made it happen, and I was in that program. The point of the story about that is that was the first opportunity that I ever had in my life to feel support and lean on other people. I was never someone who felt comfortable leaning on others. I was always comfortable with others leaning on me. I was always the person who people would go to for advice. They would call when they were in a situation with their boyfriend, or, and I'm still that person. And I think that God made me that way, and I'm happy to be that person. However, what I didn't know how to do is take my turn. I didn't know how to lean back on other people, and I never felt comfortable with doing that. So this was my first time being part of something, a healthy way to work through my pain. Like I said, I was going to counseling, but I needed something. Working out had always been a part of my life, and I had cut it off for a year, and I needed something to hold on to. And I plugged into her program, and I did great, and I made friends, and people were holding me accountable, and I looked forward to that support every day, that camaraderie and that community. So we moved again, and I wasn't able to continue with another round of the program, which Michael was fully prepared to make a way for me to do. And I felt lost again. We moved to another state. I didn't have friends. I had to start all over and I didn't know what to do. At that time, my now coach Lisa had posted an invitation on Facebook for a free fitness group. I had seen other mutual friends of ours that were posting in the group and it looked like they were having so much fun. And I'm like, what is this thing they're doing? You know, they're all checking in and I saw this stuff in my news feed, you know, just did my, it was a abs and a plank and squat challenge and just did my squats and planks. Day 2 is done. And then I would see it the next day. So I finally reached out to a mutual friend and said, what the heck is this thing that you're doing? It looks fun and I want to know what it is. And she told me and invited me to the group. And it was about day 9 and it was a 30-day challenge. And they said, yeah, just come on in. So I didn't know what it was. It just looked like something fun. And again, I needed a healthy distraction. So I joined the group, fell in love with what they were doing in the group. It was a simple workout, but it was all of the things that I got from the group in Las Vegas, I was getting from this group. I was getting love, support. People were asking me how I was doing. People were private messaging me. Lisa was private messaging me, encouraging me, telling me that I was doing great in the group. All of a sudden, I felt cared for and I felt comfortable opening up a little bit. So in that group, I thrived. I checked in every day. I couldn't wait to check in the morning. I couldn't wait to be the first person to post in the morning. Like, I wonder if I'm going to beat Lisa to the workout because Lisa's a really early riser and I'm really not. And so I'd be like, I gotta, you know, I just was so excited about the group. And really what kept me so excited was that they all just cared about me. It was this really fun, energetic, happy, no haters, just so much fun. So that's when Lisa reached out to me and said, you know, you did so awesome in the group. And same with Stacy. I think that you would be a really good coach. Have you ever thought about coaching? I had no idea what she was talking about. I didn't know what it was. I was flattered that she thought I would be good at something, but I was not really open to it. I just said, you know, thank you, but I don't think so. So Lisa kept in contact with me, you know, and she kept supporting me, even though I was not interested in doing anything with her via Beachbody. 3 months later, my husband was in between contracts and we literally only had my job. And I was looking for an opportunity to earn an income without having to leave my house because I was already working at home and I didn't want to disrupt that flow. And so I reached out to Lisa and she told me that, you know, I was pretty much doing, same with Stacy, I was pretty much doing everything that a coach does. I wasn't getting paid for it. And she really thinks that this would be great. So I ended up joining Beachbody because of the need for an additional income, but really because I needed that support and I didn't want to be unplugged from that. It was like, I knew how much I was used to being an island. I was so used to holding things in, letting other people put their problems on me, but never really being open about the fact that I'm struggling. I'm really in need. I need someone to talk to. I need someone to lean on. And this was the first time that I ever really had that team feel and that, you know, girlfriend feel. And there was nothing but love in that. So for me, it was like the two got married. You know, Michael and I had a financial need and I had a really, really strong personal need that I didn't know how else to fulfill. I didn't know how many more times Michael and I would move. I didn't know when I would be grounded somewhere where I could start building friendships for life again. I didn't know how much more that was going to happen in my life. So the fact that this was online and the fact that I could connect with these people whenever and wherever was it for me. That was my answer to me being in need of friendship and just support and a healthy outlet. So I really feel that God put Beachbody in my life to save me from myself, because my habits and my track record are to turn to negative town, to turn to drinking, to turn to food, to turn to depression and let that overtake me and really be consumed by that. And with Beachbody, I was just embraced, and I was encouraged, and I was uplifted, and the burden was taken off of me. I didn't have to be all and do all. And I wasn't an island anymore. I was part of something so much bigger. And it all started with me, and it all ends with me, but it's not all about me. And that was the missing thing for me. It was always about me at the end. It was always something that I couldn't see past myself. But when you plug in with a huge group of people who genuinely care about your well-being and genuinely care about you becoming a better mom, a better wife, a better every hat that you wear, and they invest their personal time in seeing how that's going for you, there is nothing like that I've ever experienced, not in a job, not in anything else that I've ever done. And that was why I plugged into Beachbody and really never looked back. Yes, I had a financial need, but I know that I would make income. And the first thing that they told me was, there is no guarantee that you'll make a dime. So for me, it wasn't even the income. It was more of just the fact that I had such a deep need for support, and I didn't know when I would be planted. I didn't know when we'd live somewhere more. We didn't live in one place more than 9 months for 4.5 years. 9 months was the longest we lived anywhere at one time. And I didn't know how long that was going to last. I was prepared to keep going and allowing my husband to finish out his football career. And I didn't know how long that was going to be. So Beachbody has been life changing for me, but also life saving. It has really given me what I needed to not go back to the way that I was, and not go back to the person who leans on substances and leans on, and takes everything in and implodes. I now probably put too much on Facebook, but that's my journal now. Facebook is my outlet. Facebook is how I relate to people who may also have the same struggles, and I just put it out there now. And the thing that's so cool that I learned through this journey is that the more you put it out there and the more you're open, the shame goes away, because what you don't have to hide cannot control you. And I hid everything in my life. Everything was just behind closed doors. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. When I was dying inside. And I don't do that anymore. When I'm not okay, I say I'm not okay. And I have people who I can trust to lift me up when I'm not okay. And that's something that I never had before. So for me, Beachbody's great. You see Shakeology, you see us talking about these things, you see 21 Day Fix, you see all this stuff. Everybody knows that Beachbody's this great fitness company, and they're incredible. But for me, it has been all of the other things that have come with plugging into a community of a business and a community of people that actually really, truly care about my well-being. And I have that now to give to other people. So that's why I became a coach. That's how I got to this point. That's why I share unapologetically. That's why I'm constantly inviting people to be part of my free groups and my invested groups and my coaching opportunity, and be part of our team, because you don't know what part of this you need. It may not be financial. It may not be community support. It may just be you've never done anything for yourself, and you need to hold on to something for you. There's so many things that it fits into your life for, but you don't know that until you plug in and get to know what it's all about. So that's why we share our story and how we got to this point. And we share all the time unapologetically, because there's another Demetria out there that needs to hear how I got from point A to point B, because they need to know they can do the same. So that's my story.
Yeah. I love that. And if you guys noticed tonight, before we close out, is that we've come from really bad tragedy. It's very vulnerable for both me and Demetria to get on here. And I never thought in a million years, when I bought this container thing and Shakeology thing, I did not know that it was actually going to do more than just weight loss, because it draws you in with advertisement for weight loss. And that's what commercials are great at doing, right? But I can tell you, and we can tell you, that something really amazing comes after you press play, and after you use your containers, and after you have your shake every day. Those things are just the physical things you can hold in your hands. But our pain of a loss of a suicide, a loss of a child, a loss of low self, I mean, we both had low self-esteems. You do attract your tribe, which is kind of the coolest part about this whole experience, because what you find out later when you're in a group is that you have something so heavy in common with that person that you can actually latch on to that person, hold hands, and say, you know what? I think I can hold your hand and get through my pain. And you know what they say? The same exact thing. And how nice is it to hold somebody's hand who's virtual, or even if they're living near you, and they say, you know what? You don't have to be judged. I got you, or I get you, and I know how it feels. And I've been there and I've done that. That's a really nice feeling, because when I was going through my grieving process, I really felt alone. Like I didn't think anybody understood me, not even my closest family members, because I didn't feel a connection in that process for me. It was just that process that I had to go through. You know, I had to find somebody to connect to heal myself, you know. And I will say this, I invite unapologetically. I will get on and share because it's done so much. You know, if you're worried, if you're like, you know what, maybe I really want to do this coaching thing, but you're like, I don't want to be a salesperson. My God, do I not think that for 5 seconds? Because what I see is connecting with somebody, forming a real, true, honest relationship, and saying, hey, by the way, oh my God, you were telling me about whatever, you're going through this really rough time. Dude, can I just tell you what helped me? It's no different than me telling you that I had a delicious steak from Grill Marks. It's not. I'm telling you something that has worked, that I like, that I enjoy, and that has done something for me. And that's what it's all about, you guys. It's not about sales. It's not about, I don't know. I feel, and I think we feel, that when we do a job, to me, I know this sounds weird for a lot of people, but money, yes, it's important, but it comes second, because if I'm working from a passion and I'm working from my real self, then all of that stuff kind of just comes with it, you know? So think about these things tonight, you guys. If you're one of those people that maybe you've been following us, or maybe you've been talking with us, I think at this point it is very safe to say that we are not people who are like, come on, we just want you to buy this challenge pack from us. It's not that, because if it was that, I'd be out the door in 5 seconds. I can guarantee you that. I want people to know what it feels like to come out of a depression and feel incredible. We want that. We want people to know what it feels like to finally have a little confidence in your backbone. We want that. We want you to know that if you think it can't be done, we want you to know that it can be done. So I will say this, the excuses that I did for a year and the excuses Demetria did in a year, if we can tell you tonight to stop with your excuses and dive into a leap of faith and fear, like literally dive into the fear, that is where you find your freedom. That is where you find your truth. That is where you find everything that your anxiety and depression does not want you to receive. That's what you do. You dive into the fear. You put your hands up. You don't put the toe in. You put the whole body in. And let me tell you, me and Demetria, we were a toe dipper at one point, and then we dove in. And when we dove in, it was like a cleansing. It was a total body detox. And it has nothing to do with scale. Scale was the byproduct of both of us. The best byproduct of all of this was I'm genuinely happy again after my dad's suicide. She's genuinely happy after the loss of her child, you guys. This is real shit we're talking about. And I'm going to say it like it is because that's exactly how I feel. If you're sitting there tonight and you feel that you need a cloud lifted and you're stuck and you're on the hamster wheel, just hear our story and just put it in your back pocket and marinate on it. Just marinate, because this could be your opportunity, as it was for our traumatic stories, to be our greatest triumph. And that's why we both coach. And that is why we're on a team together, because we are a tribe. You connect to the right people. I've been friends with her for over 20 years, you guys. 20. And now she's back in my life in the most incredible way. It's like we just keep recycling our friendship, and this is amazing. Mm-hmm. So we are so glad that you guys came on this call. We are so honored to share our stories. And as nervous as we both were before we came on the call, we were literally texting each other going like, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. But you know what? That's what it is. Like, that's what it is. When you guys, when you dive into your fears, rather than push them and swipe them under the rug and say, I can't do this. It's not my time. I'm not ready. I can't do something like that. I'm not capable. Your fear is winning you over. And guess what you do? You turn to the fear, you shake hands with it with your love in your heart and say, you know what, fear? It's time that you get some love, because obviously you need it. And when you do that, the fear silences and you get to grow into your most amazing self. And if that is something you are seeking, and if that is something you have been soul searching for, this could be your home. And the only way to know is to just reach out to whoever. You can reach out to either one of us. We're both on the same team, and we are here for you. We're going to be here tomorrow. We're going to be here next week. We're going to be here a year and 5 years from now. So even if it's not tonight, we're good, because guess what? We're not going anywhere. So have faith that you have two people that are trustworthy, who are in it for the long haul. And if you have questions about the financial stuff and all of those other things, we want to talk to you more about that privately, because that's kind of just, those are just like informational pieces. We just really want to come on every time and talk to you about the real stuff that matters most, which is your confidence and your joy and getting that stuff back. Dimitri, you have any last words on that?
Nope. I think you said it all. I couldn't agree more. And, you know, like I say, Stacy said, please reach out, even if it's not about coaching and you just need to talk to somebody. That's why we're here.
Absolutely.
So,
yep. Thank you guys so much for being on this call. We love you all. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Comments and likes and hearts. It's been awesome. I've been watching them as they've been falling in, and so many people from so many places. Like, this is the electronic pen pal back when we were in the day. So it's not paper and pencil, it's electronic. So you guys, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy freaking New Year, you guys. Make 2018 the best year. But we love you guys. Bless your holiday seasons. Enjoy your families. And more importantly, think about giving a gift to yourself. Even if it's not with Beachbody, we don't even care. Give yourself a gift under the tree or by the menorah or whatever holiday you celebrate, and make that gift the gift that's going to make you the best version of you this year for yourself. All right, guys, have a great night, and thank you guys for tuning in. Good night.
Thanks, guys.